Are you a parent navigating the complexities of co-parenting, family court, or even domestic violence? If you are looking for ways to help protect your children and build a strong and supportive community around you, then look no further. Gray Minds Think Alike is your go-to resource for everything related to the complexities of family life. Join us as we dive into thoughtful conversations with experts and explore practical tips and strategies for tackling the challenges of parenthood in the throes of adversity so that no parent feels alone and every child's safety is protected. Welcome back to Gray Minds Think Alike, where we dive deep into the conversations that matter most with experts who enlighten, inspire, and empower. Today, I'm joined by someone known as the Love Doctor. Anil Gupta is a TEDx and Harvard speaker, relationship and mindset mentor, and author of the book, Immediate Happiness. For more than 2 decades, Anil has helped individuals and families heal from grief, trauma, and toxic relationships while showing them how to create emotional safety, build resilience, and reclaim hope. His work has been featured on iHeartRadio and Fox News, and he has shared stages with other thought leaders. Anil's mission is to help people transform pain into purpose without losing themselves in the process. Anil has performed his relationship and mindset workshops in over 18 countries, and we are so happy to have him here today. So hello there. Thank you for coming on Gray Minds. If you would just want to give a brief intro into who you are and what you do, we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, thank you for a great introduction. I'm known as a Love Doctor. I help people overcome the struggles that we're all facing in our lives so that we can lead richer, fuller, happier lives. We were never given a toolbox when we were born or when we got married or when we have a relationship. And the more tools that you have, the easier your life will become. We're going to share some of those tools today.
Absolutely. So just before we even continue, how did the name The Love Doctor come about?
I'm a member of certain masterminds, and one person called me Love Doctor, then someone else called me. Thought I kind of like that. And that's exactly what I did.
So your book, Immediate Happiness, it offers practical tools, you said, for people who feel just stuck in relationships, conflict. I guess just give us a little intro into the book.
The book is a manual on human behavior, why we get upset, the cost of getting upset, forgiveness, letting go, the past doesn't equal the future. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And we were never taught this stuff. So, for example, in a relationship, we need to know what the other partner wants. Men want to be respected, women want to be loved. And tone, languaging, the words that we use mean everything. The meaning we put behind things. So, for example, I used to think when my wife didn't return my call, she doesn't love me, she doesn't care for me, she doesn't honor me, she doesn't respect me. And then she'll come home and say, honey, I'm so sorry, the battery went out. And I'd make up all this story. Then as human beings, we love to be right about being right. Then I would find other areas of our relationship that she's done that. And then I would put it all together. Then I'd make a story. You know, we have to break down what actually happened. What did I make it? And that way, that will take a lot of pain and suffering from any relationship.
Does that have to do at all with attachment styles?
It's just human nature to make something mean something. Something happens, we make it mean, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm so clumsy, I'm this, I'm that. And we try and put ourselves into buckets. But all that happened, we spilled some milk. It's not a big thing, but we like to make meaning behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just know that with different attachment styles, if you're anxious, like you said, not texting back kind of puts you in that mental headspace, whereas someone who's insecure probably wouldn't jump to those conclusions right off the bat.
Yeah, we love to be right about being right. And because we're anxious, we want to prove that we're right. And we want to be in that box, in that label. So we'll find other times that will confirm. Then we make a big story out of it. And then it leads to problems.
Absolutely. All right. So what can our listeners do to apply these tools that you're going to talk about into their everyday life? I mean, you said it's not just about relationships. It's pretty much navigating anything in their life. That's grief or toxic patterns.
Yeah. Let's start with the formula that I've developed for happiness, which equals happiness is equal to G times G. So the first G's.
I was never good at math, so.
The first G, you have to give your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your joy, your gift, your money. Give it away without wanting anything back. When you give, you receive endorphins. You feel good. The person receiving the gift receives endorphins. They feel good. Person observing the gift gets to feel good by receiving endorphins. And when they share that gift, the person they're sharing with feels good. And it goes on and on and on. And we never know what other people are going through. There may be cancer. I just had a recent friend who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I didn't know. So we never know. The second G is you have to be grateful for what you have and don't focus on what you don't have. And if you look at your hands, when was the last time you thanked them?
Probably never.
Yeah.
I guess they do a lot considering I'm a writer.
So 25th of August, 2025, I slipped and fell on the pickleball court and I fractured my left hand, dislocated it, 9 fractures, titanium plate, 2 pins. I was very upset, but for 10 seconds, all of a sudden I felt gratitude. Do you know why?
Because you're thankful that you have hands.
I'm thankful it was my left hand. I'm right-handed.
Got it.
That wasn't damaged. So it's a must. I can't pick up much. I can maybe pick up a pen. A week ago, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even press the key on a keyboard. Even on my phone, you've got touch sensors. I couldn't do that. Just doing this is a big thing, but I never thought of that being a big thing. And they asked me to do this. I thought, that's easy peasy. That's as far as you can see my hand shaking.
Yeah.
It's getting close. So be thankful for what you've got. Your heart, Ali, is beaten 1 billion times. Okay? You're about 30 years old. Your heart is beaten at 1 billion times. Your heart has 4 chambers, each in perfect sync. Your liver, your kidneys, your eyes, your brain is magnificent, but we take it for granted. Now, the third G is you have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Now, when I had the accident before that, 30 minutes before, my happiness score was a 999, which is 729. As soon as I fell, I looked at my hand, it was mashed up. It fell to 111. 1 for give, 1 for gratitude, 1 for growth. So my score went from 729 to 1. That's a big jump.
Right.
10 seconds later, my gratitude went up from 1 to a 5. So my score went to 5. Then I thought, how can I give? So I thanked the people around me. I had a medical crew, I had 12-point ECG, I had the stretcher, everything was on call. 7, 8 people around me. I blacked out. I was in shock, all sorts of things. I thought, let me thank the people around me. So I thanked everybody. My score went up to 25 because 5 times 5, it was a 5. Then I thought, how can I grow? So I thought, let me make this a lesson. Let me teach people about the formula. Let me teach people how to overcome adversity. Let me grow mentally. Let me stop beating myself up. Why did I do that? Why am I so stupid? I could have done something different. Why didn't I take a rest? All of that stuff. So then that went up to a 5. So it went up to 125. So by using this formula, always work on the lowest level of G, give, grow, gratitude, and then everything rises. So this is where your listeners can use this formula to live a richer, fuller, happier life.
Okay. And this is for anyone, for any type of situation?
Anytime. If, say, something happens and you get upset, think, oh, wow, I feel upset. Which of those 3 Gs has just dropped? Is it give? Is it grow? Is it gratitude? If you've got bad news, it's normally emotion. If you're not grateful for what you have and you're focusing on what you don't have, it's a gratitude. And it just takes away the overwhelm.
All right. I know that a lot of my listeners are parents who are navigating some sort of conflict or grief, or it could just be about divorce or children. How would you recommend that they begin healing process without feeling like they're failing? How can they use these Gs?
Okay. So the first thing they can say, what am I grateful for?
Okay.
I still have my kids. I still have a house to live in. I still have my hands. And write down 50 things you're grateful for. At first, you can say, well, I didn't have 50 things, but your teeth, your hand, your skin, your eyes, your feet, your nails.
Right.
You'd be amazed. I'm grateful for having a house, a bed to sleep in, warmth, electricity, water. Then write down things that you've accomplished in life. So you walked, you talked, you peeped, you pooped, you graduated, you went to school, you got some awards, all sorts of things. And notice how you feel. So that's gratitude. And then start complimenting a friend, thank a friend, a parent, thank a teacher, do something for someone else. In the moment you give, all your pain and suffering disappears. So in 2008, I was on the verge of suicide. And what I started to do was to give. As soon as I gave, my thoughts of suicide disappeared. And I started doing that. I spoke on stages 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100, 500, 10,000 people. Because I started to, it's one of the greatest things. When you change someone's life, it's such a beautiful feeling. So perform 5 acts of kindness and notice how you feel. Notice how it affects the other person.
Yeah.
Third thing, just ask yourself, how can I grow? What do I need to let go of? I have something called the right shoulder rule, Ali. So if I said to you, Ali, rip off your right shoulder and give it to me, no, you would die. You would never do it, correct?
No, probably not.
No, it's a hell no. So you're never going to do it. You're going to die. We'll keep it. What if you had the same rule for your happiness? Under no circumstance will I give my happiness away. And as mothers, fathers, parents, just make that decision. You're not going to give your happiness away. You're not going to rent out space in your head to other people who are depriving you of the joy you deserve.
Well, unfortunately, in my life, happiness was ripped from me. My son was murdered by his father. So that's why I do this podcast, give back to the community because they want answers, how to navigate difficult difficult relationships as I did. And unfortunately, the sole reason of him killing my child was to make me suffer and really take my happiness away. So for someone like me, yes, I looked to find meaning and to do things and give, like you said, but I don't think that I will truly ever be happy fully.
There is, for the listeners out there, how do you know you're in the right relationship? If you're thinking whether you're in the right relationship or not, there's another formula. Any partner that you're with must have these three criteria. Number one, they have to have integrity. Number two, they must be loving. And number three, they have to be healthy, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially.
And what if they're not?
If they're not, you have to make a choice. Otherwise, you're going to just be in a relationship that you're just staying in for the sake of staying in. And you could be in a beautiful relationship, and it will prevent a lot of pain and suffering in the future.
How do you break maybe toxic relationships if your partner or someone, your spouse maybe has some red flags? Is there something other than just leaving?
Well, you could seek help, get coaching, get mentoring, see if there's a way to communicate with your partner. But if your life's in danger or you think it's not something that can be addressed, you need to make that known. And don't stay in a relationship just for the kids. Don't stay in a relationship because your parents want to. Don't stay in a relationship because you don't want other people to know. You have to do what's right for you. You have to do what's right for the family. It's a difficult situation, Annie. I really empathize. It's such a tough one.
What can parents do to create an emotional safety and stability for their children?
So I have this beautiful exercise that will help a lot. So we would sit around the dinner table. My son was 7, my daughter was 5 at the time.
Okay.
And I would ask my wife, what have you done today that you have not been acknowledged or thanked for? So she said, I made this meal, no one thanked me. So my son would thank her, my daughter would thank her, I would thank her. Then I would ask the same question to my son. What have you done today? He said, Dad, I did this homework and no one said anything. So I would thank her, my daughter would thank her, my wife would thank him. So that's the first question. We go around the table. Next question is, what act of kindness did you perform today? Not did you perform an act of kindness? What did you perform? Go around the table. Next question is, what act of kindness did you see today? Mom, I saw my brother do this. I saw this. I saw this. Next question is, what was fun, exciting, magical about today? Next question, what are you grateful for? Next question is, what did you see? What did you notice today? Say, Dad, I noticed you picked me up from school. You gave me a hug and a kiss. Not every parent wants to come. Not every child wants to be even seen with their parents.
True.
I said, son, if anyone ever says anything to you, just let them know because they want to feel that they belong. They need to know the answers. And the last question is, anything on your mind? One day my daughter said, Dad, I'm having a problem at school. I said, great. She said, Dad, you don't even know what the problem is. I said, honey, whatever it is, it's always a way. It's always a way. So I'm instilling in them to communicate, and then I'm going to support them. Now, the great thing about this exercise, Ali, is this. My son next day would be the leader. Okay. He would be in charge. So he has public speaking skills, confidence. Their levels of awareness are increased because they're looking for these things every single day. They have to be respectful, confident, kind. So it really made a difference. He's been a public speaker. He's done over 1,000 talks for Tony Robbins. He's a philanthropist. He's helping people all over the world. My daughter has spoken in front of 10,000 people, but they're very nice, human, kind, gentle, loving people and have the skill of public speaking. This one exercise will change the dynamic because one day the kids are going to have a problem and they need to come to you, not to someone else who doesn't have the best intentions at heart. It's a game changer.
Now, I know one of your quotes in the book, it's happiness is not something you chase, it's something you choose every single day. Is that what you hope that people get out of this book?
Everything's a choice. You can use the right shoulder rule, you can give your happiness away, or you can ask yourself, what's the goodness in this? The goodness in me in fracturing my arm is that I wrote 2 bestseller books in the last 6 weeks. I've been doing almost a podcast a day because I have 4 extra hours a day. I'm here with my daughter in Detroit, just spending time with her and just chilling with her. So ask yourself better quality questions. And happiness, people think we're seeking happiness. We're actually not seeking happiness. See, happiness is external. What we're seeking is a feeling. Everything we do as human beings, we're looking for is a feeling of security, a feeling of a nice meal, warmth, a nice car, nice house. So what we're seeking is a feeling of fulfillment. Fulfillment is internal. Happiness is external. Inspiration is internal. Motivation is external. So a lot of parents try and motivate their kids. That's only temporary. If you can inspire them. So an example is, I see a lot of parents have chores for their kids. The word chore to me is painful. Why not say, hey, kids, what would you like to contribute to the family? Would you like to mow the lawn, wash the dishes? So rather than a chore, it's a contribution. Who would love to walk the dog and contribute to the family? Who would love to contribute to Bozo, favorite dog?
Right.
That changes everything. It's the same situation, but it's a different format.
It's changing their perspective and saying it's an activity, not something you have to do, but something you want to do, perhaps. Now, if pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, someone like me, it's really not optional. I will suffer. I don't have my child here. He was 4 years old. Yes, I do choose to get out of bed. Yes, I do choose to not give anyone else more power over me by doing so and getting out of bed. But it's hard. I mean, pain is inevitable. So for someone that is truly suffering, how do you sort of choose the love and the gratitude?
That's really hard. I'll tell you the definition I have for pain and suffering. So I fractured my left wrist and was in tremendous pain, but I wasn't suffering because I knew it's going to heal. So suffering is when something is never ending, it's never going to finish. What people can do is ask themselves, how long is this going to last? Is it going to be for the rest of my life? And if it is, how can I mitigate that? What can I do? It's not something I can forget or let go of, but how can I use something that will inspire others, save someone else's life, give something back, help some other people? And by you giving, by you dedicating your life to something more beautiful will help so many people in so many ways. It will never take the pain away, but it can absolutely reduce it.
I started the nonprofit for that specific reason, and I got a law passed here in Florida called Greyson's Law, named after my son, that has been helping other families protect their children. And I have gotten responses from parents that said, your child has saved my child's life. Wow, I hear things like that, and I'm happy that Greyson's name lives on, and it wasn't maybe in vain, but it's sort of, how come you get to be happy, but I didn't ask for this?
No,
so it's a little bittersweet. But so what other services do you provide? Like someone who would contact you?
So my ideal avatar would be someone who's single, trying to find a partner.
Sure.
I have a program, it's called the Smart Select System, how to find your ideal partner without dating, because dating doesn't work.
Yeah. Sure.
And if you're in a relationship and you're not as happy as you should be, I can give you tools, methodologies, a system and a protocol by one-to-one coaching that will help you overcome and get clarity on any struggle that you may have.
Okay.
I was doing coaching the other day with a lady, and she said 50 pounds of weight just lifted off her just in one session.
Wow.
And that allows you to be the best version of you.
Okay. And can you give us a sample of something that one would do if they were in a relationship that they were unsure about?
What I would do is ask your partner this. So men want respect, women want love. So ask your partner, if he's a male, what can I do to make you feel more respected? And if it's a female, what can I do to make you feel more loved? And notice if you're doing those things. And if you're not, start doing them and see if it makes a difference in the relationship. Look at what you used to do when you were dating. What have you stopped doing? Are you giving your attention to your partner? Are you being present with them? Are you giving your time? Are you having eye contact? Are you touching them and edifying them and affirming them? It's so easy to get distracted at work, at business, you're tired, it's a long day, but it's important that you look after yourself. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel loved to yourself?
Sure.
Work on yourself. If the oxygen mask is down, you need to work on yourself. You're not being selfish, so that if you become the stronger version, you can help other people.
So what do you do if maybe your partner and you have want different things in the end? Do you talk about how you can maybe see a future, or do you try to maybe realize that maybe you are not intended to be with that person?
So remember, it's a three-way test: integrity, loving, and health. My wife and I have totally different pastimes. I play a lot of sports. She doesn't. She's more family orientated. So we make it work, a yin and a yang. If she wants to do this, I want to do that. Say, that's fine. Let's do that. But in fact, that's quite healthy, so that she can do her thing, I can do my thing. When we meet, we're both filled. Ask yourself, where can I compromise? How can we make this work? What do we need to change?
So if compromise can happen, that's the way to go. But if it can't, then maybe reevaluate.
Yeah, reevaluate and ask yourself what's the best solution without getting emotional, without pointing fingers, without blaming, and say, you know what, I don't think this is working. Why don't we try a month separation? Why don't we do this? Why don't we try? And a great question is, how committed are you to this relationship? If they say it's a 2, they're not really very well committed. But if they say, look, I'm totally committed, then, there's hope.
Right. Now, if you're dealing with someone that has been involved in domestic violence, obviously you want that person to go and end the relationship. But what if there is fear?
The fear is going to diminish your quality of life. And then what if something serious happens? If that's the case, you've got to do something, seek professional help. And when you have someone beside you and guiding you and protecting you, the fear will tend to dissipate. But at the end of the day, it's something you have to do because you can't live in fear.
No, I know that firsthand, but sometimes it's a scary world out there. So I guess for the singles that want to contact you, and you said without dating, what is something that, I know for me, it took me a long time to meet my partner. A lot of people are looking for their soulmate, I guess you can say. What is the first thing that they should, is it stop looking?
The first thing you've got to do is stop dating. And I'll tell you why.
Right.
I call it the dating facade. Boy meets girl, they, talk and they get on well and think, oh, he's the one, she's the one. But if you were to buy a house, you wouldn't just buy it. You would look at it, condition, location, appraisal, schools, the roads, everything. Most people don't do that. They say yes to a relationship until it becomes a no. But it has to be a no until a yes. So I call it the ABCD. Always be collecting data. Collect your data first. Assess them through integrity, loving and healthy. And if they pass that test, then you can start dating them. Don't just date people wanting to get to know them. That doesn't make sense because when you date, the person on the other side is trying their very best to get to the next date and you're being the best version of you. It's not really authentic.
It's the best place to meet someone.
If you go fishing, you would go where the fish are. So one would be somewhere like a social club,
Okay.
tennis club, pickleball, sports club, golf club, country club.
Okay. So basically people with hobbies have a better chance of meeting someone because I can tell you for me, I don't do any of those things. I sat home and watched Netflix. So I'm not going to meet that person unless they just entered my door. So do you believe in dating apps for that?
They can be useful, but the thing is, how do you know the other person has the right intention? Most of our friendships occur because of proximity. So I'm a firm believer in going out and meeting people. And it could be a church event, a fair, a local event, hiking, walking, meetup groups. It doesn't have to be a large group, but you have to really get to know people outside and in life situations. So go for a coffee, go for a walk, go for a hike and observe them and collect the data.
All right. I always heard the best place to meet them is at the grocery store. I don't know if that's true, but I do go there quite often.
Yeah, but you can meet someone anywhere.
You can.
At the airport.
Yeah.
One of my best friends I met on a plane. I was sitting across him and his daughter was there and I used to carry a red nose. His daughter was about 3 years old. So I put my red nose on and she laughed and I laughed and we became friends. That was like 12 years ago and we've been best friends ever since. So you never know where you're going to meet someone.
And my partner, I hired him to teach my son how to swim. He's a swim instructor and my son was 3 years old. We live in Florida. So swimming is obviously an everyday activity and that's how we met. So I always feel like Greyson brought us together.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And it's helpful that
for kids.
He knew him. Yeah. Okay. So what is the best way for someone to get in touch with you?
My website is meetanil.com. You'll find a lot of free content there. You can download my book. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I'm sure Ali will add those to the show notes.
Yep, absolutely.
You'll find life-enhancing content on my website.
Okay. Sounds good. And the book, you can download it from your website?
It's available on Amazon. It's on Audible. It's on Kindle. And you can get a free download on my website.
Even better.
There you go.
Yeah. So is there anything else you'd love to share with our audience?
So there's one sentence that changed my life. And this is a sentence. Be so amazing you cannot be ignored. And if you're ignored, it doesn't matter. Be the best version of you and your life will change.
All right. Well, I guess that's something that I strive for every day because that's all it can do.
You made such a big difference in so many lives that we never know how many lives we've impacted.
I appreciate you talking to us and, sharing those tools and tips. And I'm actually going to download your book so I can incorporate some of that into my life because I could use all the help that I can get. And I'm sure my listeners can too.
Okay. And if you want, I can send you the PDF of the dinner exercise that you can share with the audience too.
That would be amazing. I will put all of that in the show notes.
That's an amazing interview.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything and we'll be in touch.
Thanks.
If there's someone that you want to hear from on this podcast, please feel free to send me an email. Or if you would like to be a guest, please reach out at Allie@Greyson'sChoice.org. If you would like to continue to hear our podcast, please consider donating at Greyson'sChoice.org. Any amount helps to fund our mission to help protect our children.